Hi guys, in this video we are going to discuss about stakeholders of business, right? In your first lesson, first chapter, background of business talks about stakeholders of business. Stakeholders of the business is the last lesson in your first chapter, right? So who is stakeholder? We'll go to my presentation first. What is stakeholder? Stakeholder is any individual, group or party that has an interest. Main word is interest, right? That has an interest. Main word. You should mention the word interest, otherwise you will lose your marks. Right? Stakeholder is an individual, group or party that has an interest in an organization and the outcomes of its action, right? So we'll take school as an example. It's a school. Assume it's a school, right? School as an example. So the people who have interest in school are principal. It's an individual, right? Principal is an individual. The school will have only one principal, right? Principal is the person or individual who has interest on the organization. Second, group. Students. Teachers are groups. Teachers also have interest on the organization. In the party, I will say like canteen, the people who runs the canteen, right? So stakeholder is an individual, principal, group, students, teachers, party, the people who runs the canteen, has interest on organization, Why these people have interest on the organization? To fulfill their objectives. They also have the same they have various objectives, not same, various objective. Principal may have different objective. For example, principal is interested on school to get his salaries and wages. Students are interested on school to get good education. Likewise, teachers are interested on school to get promotion. For example, right, they may have more than one objective. Promotion. Canteen people are interested on school to earn profit, right? So these are the different stakeholders, different types of stakeholders, right? Different types of stakeholders related to school. They have own interest, they have their own objectives. They may have more than one objective, but they have objectives, right? So they have interest on the organization, they have interest on the school. So in other words, I can say that the school actions and decisions will impact the stakeholders. For an example, the school is going to be shut down for 10 days. The school is going to be closed for 10 days, right? Students will be much happy for that. Teachers also will be happy. I know what principal will think about it. Obviously, student will be happy. If the school is going to be closed for 10 days, student will be very happy and teachers also will be very happy. Anyhow, the canteen uncle is not happy. He is unhappy because he is going to lose his profit for 10 days, right? So school's action and decision will impact these people. So stakeholder is any individual, group or party that has an interest They have interest in organization and the outcomes of its actions. If the school is going to be closed, some people will be happy, the canteen uncle will be unhappy, right? So we'll go to our study text again. It defines stakeholders, right? The study text says that stakeholders are the different parties who are interested in the business activities, right? Why they are interested? They have to fulfill their various objectives. They have to fulfill their various objectives, so they are interested, they are concerning about the organization. Then your study text states 10 different types of stakeholders. 10 different types of stakeholders: future investors, owners, managers, customers, suppliers, competitor, financial institution, employees, government, and community. 10 different types of stakeholders or various types of stakeholders. So types of stakeholders, right? Then your study text is defining each and every stakeholders, right? Your study text is defining each and every stakeholders. Before moving to definition, I should say one thing: these definitions are not standard definition, right? Because there are no any standard definitions to define owners, managers, and customers. So there are no any standard form, right? These definitions are used by your examiner or someone else to define these owners, managers, and customers, to give you something about them, to give something insight about them, right? There are no any standard definition. You should remember that, right? You can explain. If examiner is asking you to define owners, managers, customers, you can explain in the way you wish, but that definition should be relevant to that, right? There are no any standard definition, but I prefer you to follow the study text, right? The study text defining the owner. Owner are the person who providing resources. So we know that owner is the person who recruit employees, who recruit managers, who will give place to the business, as well as who will give money to run the business. So owner is the person who gives resources to the business, right? So managers are the people, a group of people or individual who operates the business, right? Or the business operations are conducted by managers, and decision of the owners are implemented by managers. Decision of the owners are implemented by the managers. Here guys, you should be very careful, right? Decisions of the organization will be taken by the owners, because owners have the control over the organization, because he's the owner, right? Owner has the control over the business, because business is so he has the control over the business. Anyhow, managers do not have control, so they can't make decision, they can't take decisions. Anyhow, their responsibility is to implement the decision taken by the owners. Managers are the people who are not going to take decision, however they are going to implement the decision taken by the owners. You should be very careful, right? It will come to MCQ, I think. So customers, third type of stakeholders. Who are customers? We know obviously customer is the person who buy goods and services. Assume you have a communication, right? You are the owner of the communication. So the person who buys reload cards from you, who buys stationary items from you, are the person going to be your customer, right? Customer is the person who buy goods and services from you. Then supplier. Supplier is the person or group of people who gives raw material, who provides raw material, transport facilities, etc. to a business. Competitor. Competitor can be individual or group of people, or else another business, right, that will produce and sell similar goods or services to a business in operation. For example, you are a producer, you are selling shoes, right? So your competitor will be the shoe seller or shoe manufacturer. If you are a shoe manufacturer, your competitor cannot be the laptop manufacturer, right? The competitor should manufacture the item what you manufacture, right? You should manufacture the same item what you manufacture, or you should sell the same item what you sell in the market. So it is important word, similar goods or services. So financial institution, banks, right? Banks are example of financial institutions. What banks do generally? Bank provides loans, right? Banks facilitate the business to do check transactions, right? So financial institutions are institutions which help the business in financial way, right? So employees, who are employees, right? Who work for the organization. Here the people is saying individual performing the operation of a business. In simple way, you can say the people who work for organization. The people who work for organization. Who work for organization. That's why I said you in the beginning, there are no any standard definition, right? So government is the third party or external party. So government is the party who is going to, the party is going to introduce policies. So introducing policies, those policies should be followed by business, right? So community includes population living outside of the business, journalists, environmentalists, pressure groups, etc. General public also come under community, right? General public, general public, general public. Future investors. Who are future investors? The definition says that who are going to invest your company in future. Individual or institution willing to invest you in future. Those are the types of stakeholders. And we are moving to a presentation again. In my PowerPoint presentation, I have divided these stakeholders into internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Assume this is an organization, right? This is the organization, right? Assume this is a communication. So the owner of the communication is an internal stakeholder. So you are having one supervisor, assume like that, one senior employee is also internal person, and employee is also internal person, right? Owners, managers, or employees are inside the organization, so they are known as internal stakeholders inside the organization. When we study about business environment, we will know clearly what they mean by internal, what they mean by external, right? For time being, try to memorize that owners, managers, our employees are internal stakeholders. Our second lesson is business environment, right? When we study business environment, you will know the term of internal, what they mean by internal, what they mean by external, right? For time being, try to memorize these things. Internal stakeholders are owners, managers, and employees. External stakeholders are supplier, government, financial institution, customers, community, future investors. It takes 2 times. called kattiya, right? So people who are inside the organization, within the organization, are internal stakeholders. People who are outside the organizations are external stakeholders, right guys? So we know that each and every types of stakeholders has their own objective, right? Objective varies according to the stakeholders. So here we are going to see all the stakeholders, all the types of stakeholders in your syllabus and their objective, example for their objective, right? Owners. In owners shoes, what are the objectives? So in owner's point of view, what would be the objectives? Security of investment is the objective. He is interested on business to know whether his investment is secured or not. For example, you are starting a bookshop. To start a bookshop, you need 500,000 money, right? You should ensure you are much interested on business in that bookshop. You are much interested in that bookshop to ensure whether your 500,000 is safe or not. You have invested 500,000, right? You should ensure over the period of time whether your 500,000 is safe or not. So ensure the security of investment. You are interested on the business, earning sufficient profit. Why you are investing? Why you are starting a business? In the point of view of owners, you should get profit, right? For the purpose of getting profit only, you are starting a business. So your business should earn profit for you. Growth of the business operation in the future. You are interested to know whether my business is growing or not. If the business is not growing, what you have to do? You have to do actions and decisions to grow the business. Managers. In point of view of managers, in the shoe of managers, what would be the objectives? Taking decisions required to achieve the objectives. Guys, normally decisions can be divided into two groups: major decisions, small decisions, or day-to-day decisions, right? Major decisions are taken by owners. Day-to-day decisions may be taken by managers, right? So taking decisions required to achieve the objectives. You should take decisions to achieve objective. You should implement the decision taken by the owners and by himself. And he is interested on the business to get promotion. Is observing what is happening in business, whether I can get promotions or not. Is observing, right? As a manager, you will observe whether I can get promotions or not. Manager also kind of employee, right? He will also think whether I'm receiving fair wages or not. As an employee, you will think I'm working 8 hours. Have been working for 10 hours, right? Whether I'm receiving good salary or not, you will think like that. So job security. Due to corona pandemic, lots of people lost their job. While corona pandemic, you may think whether my job is secured or not. Right? To know the job security, you are interested on business activity. What your owner is going to do next. Due to corona pandemic, whether your owner is going to reduce some staff, or how the owner is going to handle the business with the corona pandemic. As an employee, you are interested, right? Whether my owner will cut my salaries, whether the owner will reduce my salary or not. You're much interested, right? So customers, as a customers obtaining products at reasonable price, right? Customer is thinking whether customer is interested on business to get product at reasonable price. Obtaining quality products. Customer is interested on business whether is getting to ensure is getting good quality products. Likewise, customer is customer is interested to get continuous services, right? For example, cosmetic items. The people you the people who consumes cosmetics items are much interested on continuous services, right? If they can't consume, if they can't apply those cosmetic items on their skin, for example fairness cream, if they can't apply the fairness cream continuously, the respective fairness cream continuously, they will get some skin allergic or skin related diseases, right? So they are much interested before applying a cream. They are much interested, they will concern whether I can get this cream continuously or not. So continuous services, they are observing whether the business can give continuous services or not. As a supplier, in point of view of supplier, you will think whether I can get continuous orders from the business, whether whether obtaining money without any delay. If you have sold your goods on credit basis, you will think about it whether I am getting my credit back, right? To continue credit sales, right? If you are a supplier who does your sales on credit basis, you will think whether I can sell further products on credit basis or not. If the company is not paying credit properly, you will definitely not sell your goods on credit basis, right? To ensure that my credit sale is okay with that company, to ensure that you are interested in the company's activities. Financial institution, bank has interest on business because bank has provided loans. So to get the loan back from the business, to get the repayment from the business, bank is interested on the business, right? To provide further loans. If the company is paying loan properly, the company does not have any areas, at that time the bank will provide further loans. So to decide whether I can give further loans or not, the bank is much interested on business activities, business decisions, what is going inside the decision. Bank is much interested to know about it, right? So government, why government is interested? What are the benefits government get from the organization? The government is getting taxes, right? To get taxes, government is interested in generating employment opportunities. Government want to generate employment opportunities. So government will say a manufacturing company, here I will give you some benefits to you, or else you don't want to pay taxes for 5 years or 2 years. Anyhow, you should give employment opportunities to 1,000 youngsters. Government will say a manufacturing company, and government will say like that, a manufacturing company, look at me, I will give you 5-year tax reduction or 5-year tax relief. You don't want to pay any taxes to me further for 5 years. Anyhow, you should give 1,000 employment opportunities for youngsters. If you give me 1,000 employment opportunities to youngsters, I will waive off your taxes. So government may say like that. So generating employment opportunities, government is interested. So increase in domestic production, GDP and GNP. I don't know whether you're familiar with GDP and GNP. GDP means gross domestic production. GNP, gross national production, right? So you can just say increasing the domestic production. Government is interested. Competitors, determining the price of own product. Competitor is looking at you, right? Competitor is looking at you. What you are doing, your competitor is looking at you. Competitor is interested on you to compare the prices. Competitor will compare your price in his own price. By the way of comparing, he will set his price, right? To determine his prices, competitor is concerning about your prices. Competitor is observing your prices. He has interest on you. your business to face competition, how I can comfortably think, how I should do my strategies, how I should modify my strategies, how I should take my strategies to overcome you, to overcome competition. Competition may think like that. In community, for example, community is welfare groups, right? Welfare group is interested on business to get donations. To get donation, you can say, to get donations, right? In social groups are observing the business, how business is disposing its wages, is the whether the business is environment friendly or not. They're concerning how we are disposing your wages, how the business is environment friendly or not. They're concerning about it also. So future investors, whether I can invest or not, he will think. So we have covered objectives, right? Then we are moving to contribution. Assume you are an employee. If we want to get salary increment, it's an objective, right? Salary increment, job security, and fair salary may be your objectives, right? If we want to get salary increment, if we want to get promotions, if we want to get fair salary, what you should do? You should give good service to your company. You should give good service to your owner of the business, your employer. As an employee, if you want to get good salary, you should give good service to your employer. As a student, if you want to get good education, you should go to school regularly. Likewise, what are the contributions stakeholders should give to the business? Right? Example of contribution. In other word, why business is interested on stakeholders? We know that why stakeholder is interested on business, right? Why stakeholder is interested on business, vice versa. Why businesses is interested on stakeholders? Businesses interested is contributing adequate capital, right? Contributing adequate capital. As an owner, you should contribute adequate capital to earn profit. If we want 500,000 to start a bookshop, you should invest 500,000. With 100,000, you can't start a bookshop. Start up a bookshop, right? So you should contribute adequate capital. Being dedicated and enthusiastic, you should be diligent, right? Merely starting up a company, merely investing on a business does not work, right? Merely investing on a business does not give you profit. So if we want to get profit, you should work hard. Supervising the business activities, you should supervise your employees properly, otherwise your employees may manipulate your money, right? What managers should do, they should take good decisions, they should implement business plan appropriately, right? They should take good decision, they should perform well, right? They should perform well. So as an employee, how you should contribute to business? You should properly complete your task. Whatever task assigned to you by your employer, you should properly do that task, right? If you do that task only, you will not be fired. Otherwise, the employer will fire you. If you are not working properly, your employer will fire you. If you are not working properly, you will not get any salary increment. If you don't work properly, what will happen? You will not paid well also. So increasing the productivity of labor. So suppliers, as a supplier, to get continuous orders, you should supply raw material in good qualities. You should supply good quality raw material. Otherwise you won't get continuous orders, right? Supplying material on time. On time, you should supply material on time, right? If you supply, if you do delay, if you delays in supplying, if you delay in supplying, you will lose the orders, right? So government providing businesses friendly incentives. Likewise, if if business want to generate employment opportunities, if the manufacturing company want to generate 1,000 employment opportunities, government should give some friendly incentives, tax reliefs. Government will say, I will give you 3 year tax relief. You should generate 1,000 employment opportunities. So government should provide friendly incentives. Government should take off business barriers, right? Business barriers. Government should take off business barriers, right? So these are the objectives. And finally, they say that the ability of the future success of the business depends on mutual relationship between the business and its stakeholders. Earlier days, earlier days, it believes, earlier days, it was believed that the business want to satisfy only owners in order to be successful. But modern management, it is said that business should satisfy not only owners but also all stakeholders to be succeeded, right? So business should satisfy all the stakeholders to be succeeded. In our next video, we will discuss about business environment, right? So if you like this video, please share with friends and subscribe our channel. Thank you.